Welcome to AgriVista, where we explore topics in agriculture. This show is produced by the digital media students at Buena Vista University. Remember, at BVU, we are developing your future one experience at a time. Today, we're joined by Rich Crow. He's helping us understand the idea that farms and ranches are in fact businesses that must be managed in an organized and intentional manner to be successful in the long term. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, Rich.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Now, could you explain how a farm could be considered a business?
Most of our farms today are very specialized in what they do. And so some might be a vegetable farm, specializing in farmer's market. Others might be a dairy farm, specializing in producing the milk you and I drink. And so it's important to understand that, because no longer are the farms what we think of as old McDonald's farms self-sustaining, meaning it's just there to help me produce enough food that I can survive, maybe a little bit that I can sell and make a little bit of money to maybe buy a little bit of something. Today, actually, the farm is all about having enough of something to sell and then getting money in return to then buy those other things I might have in prior generations raised myself.
Now, can you give us possibly a more specific example of what you're talking about?
Yeah, so think about, we're in the middle of Iowa, right? Corn's everywhere. My kids love it. Drive down the road, hey, what do you see? Corn. What do you see? Corn. But you think about that corn farmer, he is very good at what he does, which is raising corn. Most of them don't have any. Some might have some livestock, but most of them they're very focused on what they're doing. And so, as he's growing that corn, well, corn's a fuel and it feeds animals, but it's not enough to build a house out of. It's not enough to do other things. And so he sells that corn, takes that money, and then helps to pay for other things. But one of the challenges with that is it can be very easy to overspend. And when we talk about these things being businesses, it's important that we remember that he has to make money. Otherwise, he doesn't stay in farming. And so one of the challenges is deciding how to spend and where to spend that.
Now, you were talking about spending your money. So could we go more in depth on how do you know what to spend your money on and what you probably shouldn't spend your money on as a farmer? One
of the things I'd love to be able to tell farmers is, here's the magic answer. But there isn't one. What works for one farmer doesn't work for another. So that corn farmer, he's got to combine the corn. Now, he could hire you and me to go out there and hand harvest everything, but A, that'd be expensive, and B, we wouldn't get anything done. And so he's got a combine. He may have an older combine, let's say it's 10 years old, worth $60, $70, maybe $100,000. Maybe it's getting a little slow. He's like, man, I wish I could upgrade. But a brand new combine, you might drop 3, 4, maybe even 500,000 on it, depending on what you get with it. And so as a farmer, you have to stop and say, okay, I'd like to upgrade combines. Maybe it makes me more efficient, fewer breakdowns, maybe it's easier for me to drive. But does it generate more money by upgrading? Yeah. And sometimes it's more just it'd be kind of nice and cool. I can look at the neighbors and go, I got the better combine than you. But, we want to be sure that whatever we do as a farmer, it makes financial sense. Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. Do I have enough money left at the end of the day to help pay for those other things like my car, my house, sending kids to BVU, obviously, and things like that just raising the corn in and of itself doesn't do. So it's important we look at it as a business, realizing that what we're doing has to generate enough money to help us then pay for the things that you and I consider to be essential in our day-to-day life.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and I want to thank you once again for taking the time to speak with us today, Rich. I hope that everyone was able to learn something new about agriculture. If you are interested and you want to learn more about BVU's Ag program, visit www.bvu.edu. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of AgriVista. Remember, at Buena Vista University, we are building your future in agriculture one experience at a time.